With OTAs just getting started, it's good to see Brandon Beane and our front office still getting work done to ensure our future. Welcome to Leafs Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to another edition where we break down the news today that Jerry Hughes has been extended for 2 more years. Before we do that, however, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button, as we have you covered not just on breaking news as it happens, but we'll also have you covered from training camp, preseason, regular season, then beyond. We are live for every single Buffalo Bills game for play-by-play and reaction. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. We also keep update on all Buffalo sports, including those Buffalo Bandits who are going for the lacrosse championship game 2 on Saturday, down 1-0 to Calgary. Got to take one in Calgary to extend it to that game 3. We'll see what happens, but we are here today to talk about Jerry Hughes, deep edge rusher from the Buffalo Bills. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But signs a 2-year extension, 2 years worth up to $23 million. Now this ensures that we will have Jerry Hughes through the 2022 season. Has 1 year left on this contract, and then another 2 years after that. Now with this extension, Jerry Hughes currently 30 years of age. So that means we'll have him up until he's 32 years of age. Originally from Sugar Land, Texas, played college ball at TCU. So Sugar Land, Texas, went to Stephen F. Austin High School, which is located in Sugar Land, Texas, and then plays for the TCU Horned Frogs for 4 seasons before he is drafted in 2010 in the first round by the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts love this first round pick. Take him in the first round. I think it was 31st. Yeah, 31st overall pick. And then 3 years later, not even 3 years later, in April of 2013, more than 3 years later, April 2013, the Colts trade Jerry Hughes to the Buffalo Bills for Kelvin Sheppard. It looks like the Buffalo Bills made out great in that deal. We got Jerry Hughes. They got Kelvin Sheppard. At that time, if you remember right, Jim Schwartz was our defensive coordinator. And in 2013 and 2014, Jerry Hughes has back-to-back 10-sack seasons for the Buffalo Bills. Great start to his career as a Buffalo Bill. And then, of course, we all know what happens. Rex Ryan comes in. The defensive mastermind that he is. Rex Ryan comes in, changes our defense from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Jerry Hughes moved from defensive end to outside linebacker. At that point, he struggles a little bit. Still some pretty decent numbers, but not nearly as effective as he was for the Jim Schwartz defense. Then, of course, 2 years ago, we get Sean McDermott. We get defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier, move us back to a 4-3. And then we see Jerry Hughes begin to start climbing again. Now, 2 years ago, had 4 sacks. So, you wanted to see those numbers improve last season, and they did. You're talking about 7 sacks, 37 tackles, 13 tackles for loss. He got in there with 18 quarterback hits. So, again, you see those numbers improve. Maybe the tackles are down a little bit, but you see the sacks go up, the QB hits go up. That's what you like to see out of your defensive end rusher. And if you remember that Minnesota Vikings game, our first win of the season, he was a monster in that game, forcing a fumble. He had a lot of QB hits in that game. I believe he had a sack in that game. His best statistical game was probably against the Houston Texans. He had a sack and a half against Deshaun Watson and a forced fumble. He had 4 or 5 tackles. 3 of those were tackles for loss. He did really well in that game. He did really well this season. I know he's ranked high on a lot of boards as far as defensive ends. I know a lot of you guys like him, so leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about Jerry Hughes and the fact that we keep him for an extra 2 years. Again, going into this season, we thought that both of our defensive ends, both Shaq Lawson and Jerry Hughes, would be their last year on their contract. We know we're not signing Shaq Lawson's 5th-year option. Does that mean we're not keeping Shaq Lawson at all? Does that mean now, especially with the signing, that we might consider trading Shaq Lawson? There's been a lot of talk out there trading Shaq Lawson for possibly a Jadeveon Clowney or maybe a Gerald McCoy. Is that a possibility? I personally don't think so. I think we're going to keep him, and I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that we don't sign another contract with him at the end of the season, depending how Shaq Lawson does this year. But we do sign Jerry Hughes a 2-year extension worth $23 million. Now, I'll give you some more information about Jerry Hughes. Now, again, in 2013, the Colts traded the Buffalo Bills for Jerry Hughes. And you want to talk about a guy who's been dependable? Since 2013, since 2014, since the year after the Buffalo Bills traded for him, he has played in every single game. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight seasons. He has played in every single game. He has started all but one. That's what you want when you talk about dependability, when you talk about being able to be on the field, make a difference on the field. And we all know that some of those years he wasn't happy, right? He wasn't happy necessarily going to a 3-4 defense. And again, you saw his numbers decline, but he was still going out there every single day trying to make an impact. So you always love to see that. In fact, in 2015, we signed Jerry Hughes to a 5-year contract with $45 million. Now, that's the contract that, of course, is up at the end of this season. So that's why we get the extension in there. But, you know, we really liked seeing Jerry Hughes last season, and we want to see continued improvement here. I mean, you talk about going from 4 sacks 2 seasons ago to 7 sacks this past season. Let's say he adds 3 more sacks, that gets back to that double-digit total. Then this is a steal, right? You talk about a 2-year, $23 million extension. If he all of a sudden goes back to getting double-digit sacks, and this is absolute steal. If you talk about only 7 sacks, this is still a pretty good deal for the Buffalo Bills and for Jerry Hughes. Now, I questioned I was talking to Hashtag Sports on Twitter. And again, if you don't follow my Twitter, guys, link in the description below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. But I was talking to Hashtag Sports earlier on Twitter and saying, you know, maybe the reason why we re-sign or extend Jerry Hughes' contract is because we lost out on the Ziggy Ansah deal. I know a lot of you don't mind losing out on the Ziggy Ansah deal, and to be honest with you, I like Jerry Hughes better than Ziggy Ansah. If you gave me a choice between Ziggy Ansah and Jerry Hughes, I would pick Jerry Hughes. And why is that? Not because I have any disdain towards Ziggy Ansah. I really think he's a great player. But again, dependability is one of the biggest assets in the NFL. And we're talking about Jerry Hughes, who has not missed a game in over 4 seasons. Talking about Ziggy Ansah, has missed a few games, is not as dependable, and unfortunately the injury bug has hit him from time to time. In fact, a lot of teams were waiting to hear from his doctor about the shoulder injury going into this offseason. That is why he did not sign until May. But we get Jerry Hughes back. We get Jerry Hughes for a little bit longer, I should say. What does this mean for Shaq Lawson? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Could we trade Shaq Lawson? Jadavius Clowney, Gerald McCoy, a lot of people talking about that kind of stuff. I know there was a lot of news especially from Eagles fans and Eagles, experts just saying, oh, well, there's been talks about a trade with the Eagles for Jerry Hughes. Well, this guy puts a stop to that and says, no, Jerry Hughes is a Bill, and he's going to stay Buffalo Bills for at least 3 more seasons. I look forward to that. Love to see him continue his career as Buffalo Bill, even beyond that age of 32, and see if we can get him locked up in Buffalo for even longer. I really like what Jerry Hughes brings to the table. I think he's a great defensive edge player, great veteran presence, right? We talk about losing Kyle Williams. Well, we still have Jerry Hughes there. Can be a great veteran presence for the young guy, especially on the D-line. You're talking about, Star Latule's been there for a year now, but Harrison Phillips, you talk about Cody Ford maybe on the offensive side, teaching him some things as you work on that. You talk about, of course, Ed Oliver, you talk about him as well, a rookie coming in there. He needs to have someone there who he can lean on. And you know what? At TCU, Jerry Hughes started on the inside of the defensive line. So he was moved to the outside later by the coach of TCU at the time, I forget his name, but he started out on the inside, moved his way to edge. So he knows a little thing or two about working on the inside and working the edge. Ed Oliver, you can work him anywhere on the defensive line. So we'll have a lot of experience to share there. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me on Believe Stock. Again, my name is Joe. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button. We keep you up to date on all Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports news. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. What do you think about the Bills extending Jerry Hughes for 2 more years? I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.